True. It's getting past the point where how many chances should they be given? I still have hope for them, 110%, but I also want to touch upon a couple of positives that we've seen today, and I think DRS are a team that deserve a little bit more credit than they've been given up until now, because in the first 3 games so far today, they've scored a total of 35 points. That's equaling their highest total day in the PMWI so far, so there's still 2 more games to go. The Nepal representatives have certainly stepped it up today, and I just really wanted to point that out. Maybe they've been outshined by the might of Navi, the strength of Zeus jumping up the second, and of course Valdez being Valdez, but I think DRS really deserve to be highlighted.
We are checking our top player rankings currently. We don't see that graphic too often, so I think it's important to mention that we now have seen a player of Zeus in there. We've seen Godless, which we haven't seen them too often. Digsy's going to be up there too with 5,082 damage and 25 kills total. But I've especially been impressed with Frankie. I think that he has been the individual player that has surprised me the most in this event. One of the players that surprised me the most. I cannot wait to see where this guy's going to be in, 6 months or a year's time, because this was a team that we didn't know too much of coming into the gig. But they've put their name on the map in big ways. It's like in big capital letters. So I'm hoping to see these here and the individual players go so further in the future.
Oh, not small, not medium, big, yeah?
It's just big. You can put it in italic, like, in big, like, I don't know what font you can take.
Would you do it in bold as well?
Probably. I'll put it in bold, like everything you can add, underline, everything. But
text color.
Why are you gonna? I don't spend all my day on Microsoft, Word. I don't. Excel sheets maybe, but I salute you. It was good seeing you, man. But the curse is back.
The Maxman curse hit you hard.
No, not the Maxman curse. That's the curse. He's doing it to himself.
Okay, he's doing it to himself. We also saw a little bit of an engagement with Fnatic Zombies and Myths. Myths coming out on top of that one for the time being, and another one is being played out. Return fire as Mexico steps it up and picks up the kill, returned quite nicely.
He sounded like Mario there. Mexico! It's like, I don't know. Like, what's happening?
I was kind of inspired by that, but anyway. Yeah, good return to form, plus another Myths player is knocked down, so it's just 2 players left up, and in this kind of high ground at Chumisera, where it's a uncertain mix of open and protection, you really got to navigate yourself quite carefully.
As Imperium will say, let's go into Picardo. Picardo, talking about that position, BTR went finally back there. They used to drop in Puerto Pariso for the short period of time at the start of this event. And now, seem like for the 3rd game on Miramar for the World Invitational, they are going to go back. As Ryzen's right on top of the roof of the arena, and he's just chilling there, hoping to give some information. And as they fight versus Zeus, Tooth and Nail are going into this fight. So far, we haven't seen any eliminated, so still a chance. BTR can make it happen.
Yeah, they do have a player down, and it's only 1 player knocked down from Zeus. So without a confirmation, the body advantage, for the most part, still goes over to Zeus in that fight. Will we hold on to Chumisera as these 2 teams are battling it out? Despite being at the lower part of the standings, still got to give a lot of respect to these teams for participating in these games, for helping to shine a light on the reason why we're all here, which is, of course, charity to help raise money for vaccinations, and just credit to Myth and Fanatics especially.
Yep, leave no one behind. That is going to be the motto we live up to in this World Invitational. For good cause, and games for good cause too. It's like the best of both worlds. You've got some good gameplay and it's for good cause. Look at that. Look at that. Gamers.
Everybody wins.
Everybody wins, exactly. Except me, I have to cast with Imperium, but we're used to that by now. I think I cope pretty well.
Jesus Christ.
It's Sundari, man. I show appreciation and love by hating on you, okay? That's how it is. I'm really leaning into my role right now.
You know what? Could be worse. I could be French,
Hey, you know what? Fair enough. We got some sick baguettes over there, that's all I'll tell you. Though, Liquid is going to have some 6 shots coming his way, as he's going to be absolutely roasted to a crisp. And Liquid, one of the top fraggers, no, actually not one, the top fragger for BTR is instantly going to be losing his life. So now they're down to 2. And that is something that Zeus, when they have a hold on the team, they don't let them go that easily. So what's the game plan? Can't he see Ryzen there? He must have seen his head top of the roof.
Whether or not he sees him, he's not really going to be specifically looking up there, right? Because you never expect to see someone up there. Now for Ryzen, I'm a little bit surprised that he's not crawling down to at least... I know what you're thinking. You're like, we see him, but we know he's there. See, you always got to think that, like, godless
peeking up.
have an idea. I'm a little bit surprised that Ryzen isn't, like, moving at least down to one side so that he's protected a little bit. But he has nothing. He hasn't been able to pick up a gun. Obviously, he hasn't been able to pick up anything. He is a bit of a...
What's Baby Godzilla doing?
He's like a roof tile up there. He's, Oh man, I feel sorry for him because knowing that he can do nothing to help the rest of his team, it makes it even harder, right? It's one thing trying to help your team, but it's so much worse when you can do absolutely nothing in this situation.
And he's got company, He's got Buddy Godzilla next to him. I don't know where Zuxy's trying to play. He's going to jump on down. Yeah, he saw them on the right. He's switching side. Little hop over.
I know.
What the dog doing?
Oh my lord. Oh man. But Zeus will be able to move forward. Let's have a little bit of a talk on where other teams are though around the map. DS Gaming looting up Minas Generalis. They're gonna have an easy rotation, which they already have a couple of players towards the north side of Lambedita. The phase 1 circle was a little bit on towards the southeastern side of the map, but for the most part, a lot of strong areas to contend with. The fact that Los Leones is really a core part of this phase 1 is going to make it quite tricky because no team is really going to want to actually rotate in there, so it's going to be kind of wrapping around the north, the south, the east and west. The Xavier on the western edge. I8 are still looting up, but they have 1 or 2 players more by the southwestern side of the city, so they kind of have the anchor point.
Because what you would usually see is these teams drop in there, getting their loot, and because it's such a wide compound, they would instantly move. But because it's in a circle, they just remain in their quarters and don't...
A little bit, yeah.
Much. Except for A1, they have been a little bit more proactive than the rest of the bunch, like Xavier and even... Actually, IA are pretty proactive themselves, going for a pretty big spread. I think they're just trying to widen up, just spread their wings and get a little bit more
exactly
themselves. But A1 actually taking control of the northern side to see the incoming teams, and one of those incoming teams actually is NASA Esports, and also Reject is very close and nearby of this current location. So they want to be, in terms of the information game, they are winning by a huge margin.
But it's also more important that they make more noise because they're more centralized in circle compared to the Xavier and IA, right? So it is so important that A1 look to push teams back, such as Nasser, such as possibly Reject, and maybe the Xavier should they get closer to A1's area. I'm also liking the rotation that's being pulled out from GeekFam. As per usual, it's kind of one of the massive strengths of GeekFam is their ability to rotate so nicely into these circles, much quicker than the likes of Navi. They went into El Pozo, they're sweeping down, and they're going to take that main road outside of Picado.
Yeah, it's a good spot to enter from. I literally have no issue with that whatsoever, so hopefully they can just keep this one ramping up. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What else? Extremely polite of you to say yes, sir. Oh. Wow. Would you rather me say yes, ma'am? Yeah. I mean, you just say, hey, that's fine. I was just like, wow, that's surprising. You know what's, hey, okay, are we gonna get a back-to-back city finish? Are we gonna go for it? Los Leones right in the dead center of this circle. A lot of little hilltops to play from the east and especially on the south. I think that's where IA are currently going. Reject 2 to have information on what teams are doing inside the compound of Los Leones itself. I think that is a great spot, and Reject Scarlet instantly gonna pull the trigger and make that rotation happen.
I really love this kind of circle, Max.
Good, yeah.
That high ground that's in between Puerto Paraiso and Los Leones provides a lot of valuable control, but because the circle doesn't often end around there too much, it may not be as familiar to these teams, but if IA can grab a hold of it, maybe a Reject, it could prove very worthwhile for them. Blacklist are going to be rotating in from the southeast. Myth are a little bit behind them, but that's because Myth are down to 2 players. GeekFam going to have that kind of central shift. Still a good few kind of containers and smaller little compound areas on the outside of Los Leones to the west, which are very much accessible for Geek Fam, so I think they're going to head in that direction.
They are indeed going to be going in that direction. They actually have themselves a loot crate that just dropped from the sky, so they're going to be able to pick that one up and see if they're going to get the new weapon that got added or if they can get themselves an orb. In this kind of game, especially if you get access to a high ground, the orb would be great to have under control. As Godless, Abeli, taken a few shots by Zuxi, and I think they might expect this to be another team. They think BTR just completely left, so they just don't really want to take the shot.
They don't care, basically. Yeah, they don't care.
They need to rotate. It's 9 circle. Is that worth it? Clearly not.
No. No, they weren't phased by those shots at all. Like, that's nothing against
Zeus but a scratch.
That moment, but yeah, it is but a scratch. But it's like Zeus were just like, yeah, we'll get the vehicle, we rotate in, doesn't matter if we take a couple of shots. Now they can focus on what's in front of them, which is right now Valdez, possibly A9. They're going in somewhat blind, so they need to try and grab a bit of information. A1 taking those pop shots towards Valdez, very valuable, and IA, the high ground is so good from them.
I'm loving it. From a lot of the teams that are playing the high ground, they are so set on what they want to try and how they want to perform this game, especially. I'm really intrigued with how this game is going to be ramping up for them. A lot of teams are going for the late rotation, but I think that they know a lot of teams are going to try and get themselves around the likes of, the hilltops, or potentially even the compound early on if you want. That is something we could be seeing some teams trying to do.
Do you think Yala are rotating a little bit too late and a little bit too slowly into these circles, and maybe is
phase one
too safe?
It's phase one. It's what they do. They start phase one slow. They start ramping up after phase two, which it is still a little bit slow, but we saw that especially in the last Wrangle game where the later the circle is, the quicker they go and the more efficient they become. So it's only phase two, right? They're still going to be pretty slow, but they still understand how this terrain works. You said this circle's great, and you got the high ground stop. Pretty scary. They don't want to enter straight up north. They want to enter from a little bit of a more unorthodox position. So the east is a great option, but it takes a little bit more time to set up.
It's a good point you make. Navi now rotating in, coming through the La Bandita area. They're going to be obviously pretty well positioned depending on where this phase 3 does shift, which we're getting into very soon. DRS in a bit of action on the outside of the circle, but that's going to be a massive south shift, very much into the advantage point of Geek Fam, and plus with the Los Leones on kind of the northern half of this phase 3, nobody really wants to go through Los Leones, so everybody's going to be going either to the west or the east of the city.
They're going to try and tiptoe their way around this one. It's very clearly what game plan you want to go for. Do you want to go YOLO, send into the buildings and of the compound? I would recommend them to not do so. You want to avoid the city at all costs. The plan on the outskirts of the city over to the west or to the south is extremely valuable. I think currently, actually, the most valuable position in this entire circle is where the Xavier currently stand. Not only are they going to be able to get intel to the center and down south, but also, if they wanted to, they could get information in Los Leones, which is not what they're doing, but they could have. And actually leaving, I find very surprising. I would have stuck there the entire way. I would have committed, but Xavier's got another plan in mind.
I thought Geek Fam's position is actually the best spot to be in, right? Because they are still technically in the city, but they're very, very, very south edge of it. And they're kind of not going towards where everybody else is going in terms of I8, Blacklist, the Xavier, right? So they're avoiding all the action.
Saw snipes from Geek Fam actually getting himself a headshot with the Orm. So very on brand. You know, living up to his name, truly and surely. Valdez, someone's going to be knocking on their door. It's going to be Zeus. How are you guys doing? We shall become neighbors. Zeus, I like how Zeus started the breach and then they instantly like, nope, they go right up in the building. My apartment is apartment B33, so I'll get up there, but a little bit higher up. See if they can even make it to the rooftop if they really want, but utility's going to be traded a little bit between these squads. Shouldn't resign too much, but the thing is, if a team tries to move away from this location, now that's where things are going to be really sticky between Valdez and Zeus.
Like, all you have to do is ask each other for a cup of sugar, right? There's no need to throw grenades, guys. Both coexist across the board. But I like the aggression from Zeus. They do have the body disadvantage, though, as they only have Ziol and Abeli left standing. Once a revive is pulled out onto 6, Valdez have a 3-man play in their hands. Blacklists are being put under a decent bit of pressure inside this game. as Geek Fam are waiting in the wings to punish both of these teams fighting in Los Leones.
And he got so much action, but we just saw actually one of the players just getting actually a huge knock, and he was down to what, 2-3 HP? What a play, trying to go for the first aid kit and will not be able to get it, and that is the game done for I8, unfortunately. So we'll see you guys into the next game out in 16th place. Not many, I believe they got 0 kills and they might have had 1, but regardless, it's not a lot of points coming their way, that's for sure. So we'll have to see I8 in the last game on Wrangle. That's a fact. As Circle's about to shift once again, and they should be going away from Los Angeles technically, but whoa, that's huge. That is the biggest upset you could have hoped for. That is a hard shift and a half, Imperium. Oh my god.
Oh my god. Is this going to be another city? Back to back, baby. PMWI West, eat your heart out. We've got it going as well. Anything you can do, we can do just as good, boys. Absolutely love it. You know, as I said in the last game, 2 games of the PMWI West were back-to-back city finishes. Seems like we're going to have it now. DS Gaming, full sending it from the east into the city. A1 are looking pretty, while Martin looks to hold on to Zeus.
That's a really strong angle Martin just tried to take for himself, and actually it will result in a kill coming out. Abeli, last player remaining, and he's going to try and go straight for the roof, which I love. I mean, you know the circle's coming your way. Stick to the roof, that's fine. And you know that if the rest of Valdos are going to try and push that, you can pick them potentially 1 by 1. And you're going to get pinned down, right? You're going to get anchored down into a really hard spot to hold on to. I think Abeli maybe flashed himself for a second there. But yeah, just hold on to the staircase, and no one in their right mind would push that. So Valdos are just going to avoid it as much as possible.
And I do get that, but Abeli could get third party by Geek Fam, by maybe BTR, by DRS, right? That roof position does expose you out into the open air of what can be a toxic Los Leones, Miramar area. And man, I definitely respect what Abeli has done. Other teams that have moved in have been kind of DRS on the edge. DS have been the only team to massively commit for the time being, but Yala are getting there despite losing 2 players. It's powerful, and Jaman's to full send it in. Navi are kind of a little bit behind them, but they're trying to deal with Reject on the southeastern edge of the circle.
Yeah, relatively big cluster of teams down southeast. You're going to have Na'Vi, Reject, and also a few players of Yala, I do believe. That one of those actually being knocked, so really Yala's not going to be really involved in getting a hands-down influence on this fight. Reject, if I were them, not a fight I would want to take. You're seeing Na'Vi, you can go to the west of your current location. I think that would be one of the best. Go towards the water silos, or just silos, I don't know what they put in there. They put stuff, I don't know. Is it water?
It's water.
Is it water? Yeah. Go there then. Go to the water, mini water.
We're in a desert, man. You need many water silos to try and keep everybody parched.
I do think that water is pretty important. You know, H2O, Bloods in class, pretty cool. What a bottle of water? It's Tuesday, isn't it? No, okay, it's not even Tuesday, but whatever. Now we're going to try and wrap around, take a little bit more control. You've got to be careful. Tixie's a little bit, not actually a little bit, he's very far in a distance. I'm skeptical of the amount of influence he can really have on this fight, but it seemed like he's into the buggy, ready to join up. He wants to have a big impact on this fight versus the Japanese team of Reject.
Nice.
Nades being traded up. Right on top of Lapis. Huge chunkaroonie of damage, as Jodo is going to be really serving as the front line for the team. Navi just going to be lasering down those little ridge lines, trying to find maybe a sneaky headshot, but Tixie, that is the flank that we want to see. And they just completely pin them down. There's no escape for Reject, but Fnatic Zombies, they see that. Oh, that is looking like a yummy bunch of kills. We want those points. Yoink! They're ours. Thank you so much. That was great doing business with you.
And I get why Tixie wrapped around. I really do get that, because one of the Reject players were knocked out. But unless you are sure it's you got to know that a third party is there, so you really can't overextend. Yes. Awareness by Fnatic Zombies.
Let's go. Back-to-back city finish confirmed, ladies and gentlemen. You can post it on social media, because we are having one hell of a nutty day, that's for sure. That's how we're going to begin with this one. There's the big building in the center. Actually, if you can play and synergize really well, and if Valdos take control of it, they will have control of 40% of the circle. Could be Valdos if they take that one building right now.
By the way, let's get one thing straight. This is not a good city for it to end on, because there's not really...
Is there a good city to end on?
Yeah, Naya has a lot of core buildings, right? We saw Navi hold on to, like, Fantastic Street, 3-stack buildings. Not really the same in Los Leones, right? It's a lot more open than you actually think. The ruins of the torn down buildings from the wars in the past have definitely not made it easy for these teams to control the Miramar train.
This is the tipping point. This is where the teams are going to slowly but surely start whittling down. And we're going to be losing them by the buckets. A1 still got Dante, Jax. Rez could be relatively hard to pull off, so I would not recommend that to really come through. But at least most of the teams are currently in there. Yala gets to still push a few extra meters. They're going to make it happen. Lamborghini taking some good shots with DS. And that's the thing. You take any fight and try and peek out the window. Another team has the angle. Peeking is just extremely risky and almost illegal right now. You want to make sure that if you take the shot, you get it in 2 seconds tops, and then you instantly go back and hide it.
Big brain rotation for Navi. Look at him on towards the northeastern side. Out of sight, out of mind. Well, the Xavier, DS, Fnatic Zombies, Nasser, A1, and Yala all fight amongst themselves. And then looking on over towards the southwestern side, yeah, Valdez trying to hold on to Geek Fan Myth. And I'm not quite sure who else that is. I think it was the last player of Blacklist International. Either way, this is crazy in Los Leones.
This is the moment where gear second is not enough. You need to go gear third, even gear fourth, because this is not going to be a fun one for a lot of these teams and players. Though BTR, completely undetected. No teams is paying very close attention to their current location. There's no one currently in the northern side except for BTR and Na'Vi. All the teams are locked on top of each other. If you dare move, 3 teams are going to laser you down instantly, and there's no escape. So, unfortunately, when you're talking about repositioning, almost impossible in the current landscape of this game.
This being put under pressure, Geek.
Oh, nice.
Bam! Are going to get the better of DRS. Down they go in 13th place. Although the Molotovs are burning, the teammates of Geek Fam were there to hold on, and resistance is futile as Valdez are still going to continue to wait. Myths are taken out in the next circle as once again continued, and Navi are inside in a controlling position.
How do they do it? How do they do it? I don't know. It's a question that we'll have answered hopefully in the near future. But these guys got himself a 3-man control on this building that's so far centralized into the circle itself. DS Gaming trying to also be a little bit more proactive in their own position, trying to reposition into the circle, which they were able to do. But now all the teams are going to be chasing right after them. It's a race for the finish. But so far it's going to be Fnatic Zombies the closest to DS Gaming, while Xavier is trying to wrap around a little bit more central towards the circle, trying to avoid this entire skirmish. And for Xavier, it does seem like it's working out. Are we going to have another finish between Na'Vi and Xavier? It is heavily possible from what I'm seeing. Nasa trying to move in too. Smoke Raid is going to start to get used up. The utility is going to have to get popped out. The A1 onto the side, can't really get the intel onto NASA. Miracle, there you go. That's, whoa, okay, Geek Fam, you guys got to chill out for a second. Everyone gets destroyed. NASA were seem a little bit more prepared apparently, and Geek Fam are going to get eliminated instantly. They tried to full send it over the road and nothing came of it. That drive-by just had a complete opposite effect. What a nade. Oh, that's a big nade actually coming out. What a play from Rabbis and Miracle. Hamzy are both going to be biting the bullet, or biting the nade, should I say. Nabo gonna have to try and cross over. Nabo and Moomen could potentially get the rest on their teammate, but there you go. You peek over the wall. Another team is going to be able to find that off angle. That's Lamborghini joining into the kill feed once more. Oh, A1 is just looking at happen from a distance and waiting for the opportune time to strike. Things are getting dicey. Imperium's gone. He was too much pressure for Imperium. He'll be back eventually, that's for sure. 1A is getting exchanged back and forth, but still Na'Vi into the circle itself. They're high up north. They're having a real good old time. And while Valdez is getting closer and closer to BTR, there's a fight for the north currently between 3 teams. There's a 3-way fight. So the feet's going to be actually going over underneath that car. They could get the shots. NASA going to have to go for the full send it, trying to cross over one by one. Only movement now remains for NASA Esports. And without any utility, without any smokes, there's almost impossible to make happen. And unfortunately, that's exactly what comes to fruition. As Xavier currently up to 8 kills, and they get another pop of city finish right here. And they're going to try and push it up to 11. A1's still up to 3 also, relatively spread. Jack's nowhere near both downtown 6-9. Fnatic Zombies just waiting in the wings, waiting up top of that building. Waiting for the circle. Everyone's waiting for the circle. That's going to be the go-to signal. Where does it go? Just in a few. And it actually goes back towards the position of both Na'Vi and I believe that's DS Gaming to enter the circle. So Na'Vi and DS Gaming, the 2 teams to beat, the 2 teams to take down. As Imperium is back with us. You don't want to miss the city finish. Hear him.
Yeah, I just have to try and load the feed. I'll be back in 2 seconds.
No worries, he'll be back with us. But I can tell you it's a bang of a game. You do not want to miss it. So get it back up ASAP, Imperium. Otherwise, you're going to be really disappointed. Fnatic Zombies right on top. A1 know they're going to have to push out, and Fnatic Zombies. Only one team will come out between these two teams. Who will it be? I have no idea, but A1 will not have the high ground advantage. And the smoke road is going to slowly but surely get put together by Fnatic Zombies. Jax is going to be the first one to make the race, and he actually makes it to the other side. Makes it to the building. That one smoke is so valuable. And all of A1 makes it out unscathed. That's a three-man team cross. That was clutch.
What the hell has happened? Phase 7 and we still have
Missed a lot.
22 players. DS Gaming are still in the mix. Navi are up in the north. They are in the circle. Valus are close by as RX Jax does get a knock on the powerful. Actually, a kill is Yala out.
Yep, Yala tried to enter through the east, unfortunately, to no avail. No rest for the wicked. No rest for all of these teams in the city finish. You made it this far. That is already huge, but now you've got to push yourself 2 minutes. Great nade onto Abu. Dante also able to join up into the kill feed. A1 are just shredding it with Xavier. These teams are just taking so much control and allowing no teams to have a breathing moment.
Xavier so good in these city finishes, up as a full squad as well. Inside this phase 7, so looking very healthy as they hold onto the highway. Unfortunately, Frankie misses those shots, but can the rest of the team shine through?
Oh, he misses it. That's going to be the full-on send it for Xavier. They pulled the signal, they pulled the trigger, and that's going to be it for Fnatic Zombies out in 7th. 6 teams now are still up and ready to go. But Xavier, what an aggressive team. I'm just loving this team from the start. From day one, they have just been impressing me time and time again, especially Frankie. Now, they still got a lot more fight coming their way, especially Valdez. That is the next team on their radar that they need to take down Imperium.
Frankie goes to Hollywood, more like Frankie goes to Los Leones and slays the beasts around them. But A1 going to be going up against DS Gaming. DS and South Korea, they have the buildings in their control, and A1, they know they're going out in the open, and they can get third party, fourth party the second they step back.
Circle actually went over to Na'Vi again, on top of the road, so they could just stay there. Kitsune currently on the rooftop. This could be another huge game for Na'Vi and Xavier if they play their cards correctly.
How has BTR been able to stay alive, right? They got 2 players down at the start of the game. They've just been untouched, unfazed as they survived until the end of this game. 27.5 minutes in phase 8. 8 seconds up until that circle starts closing in. Valdez, they still have a full squad as well.
They were alone. No one was clearing out the northern side until Na'Vi and Valdez started to get involved, and now they got some company, but not really wanted company, I would say. Dante trying to get more information. Where are DS Gaming currently playing? You've got to push that one together, guys. Dante trying to push onto the side, and Signal trying to take the control versus Missile. Gets spread in time, but trying to move out of that fight. They all get clustered inside of this corridor. One more bullet connects, and now it's going to be DS Gaming down to 1 player. They push it down, and that is going to be 2 extra kills to the name of A1. Still another player onto the other side of the building. Do you have to clear out? That is going to be Sporter, one of the top players from South Korea. He's just going to be avoiding detection of A1 for as long as possible.
Like I said, third parties were prevalent because Kitsune did get a knock. However, that revive will be played out. Valdez and BTR.
It's going to be Zux and Ryzen, though. Be careful. Jax has got the angle. If you push out, you know you're going to be taking so many shots coming your way. You're going to bite down some lead. On set, Dante, the blue, then takes him down. A1 struggling with the blue, apparently. BTR down to 1. Where is he? We have no idea. Zuxi got spotted out. He's just cornered up. 1 nade. Could it be the clutch nade? He gets flashbanged away. It's just so close. What's happening? I have no idea. And the nade actually connects. That's going to be Concept going down. Valdez down to 2. Gui could get Concept back on, but Na'Vi just fully committed to the rooftop. But the blue zone is slowly but surely going to push them over that ridge. They have to jump over and get the surprise jump shot onto Valdez.
Let's not forget about the Xavier. Let's not forget about the Xavier. Through the windows.
Oh, the play!
Go through a push, but it doesn't work out.
Oh, Zuxi, I see what you were doing there, pal, but unfortunately it does not come out as you were initially expecting, but still I respect the attempt. That's going to be BTR in 5th position. What a game. We said we wanted to see a strong performance from them, and they do make it happen. Top 5 for BTR on this Miramar game. The Kitsune will be taking a beating to the hands of Martin. Still 1 player remaining that's still on the roof. Are they going to go for the heal-off? I don't know, but Valdez tried to push it out. They are out in 4th, and now only 3 teams remain. It's going to be Na'Vi with A1 and Xavier. They push it out. They clear out Na'Vi.